Mga kanoisy, welcome back sa ating YouTube channel, PilipiNoisy. So ngayong araw, another update naman tayo about politika ng ating bansa. So about na naman ulit ito kay Catalina Cabral. So ang video to is mula kay Viral Broadcast PH. So meron pa mag-aat na breaking news, Catalina Cabral driver umamin na at kumanta na. Pulong Duterte booking na pananagutin na. So yan yung panonorin natin ngayon, men. Bibigyan natin to ng reaction and then kaya na din bahalang umusga. So bago natin simulan, Viral Broadcast PH, supportahan nyo yan. Tapos syempre, kung trip nyo na mga ganitong reaction video may kasama kayo manood, huwag nyo rin kalimutang supportahan yung YouTube channel natin, FilipiNoisy. So mga kanoisy, hindi na natin ito patatagalin pa. Wala na narkawin pa ng China. Again, babagat ng video ito. Breaking news, Catalina Cabral driver umamin at kumanta na. Pulong Duterte booking na pananagutin na? Question mark. So, Viral Broadcast PH, FilipiNoisy. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Start. So, ito yung sa CCTV. Wala siyang audio. Mamaya na siguro. So, yun yung driver niya.
Hello po mga ka-viral and welcome back again to this YouTube channel. Latest update na naman tayo ngayon. Mas nagiging mas salimuot at komplikado ang mga nangyari noong nagdaang mga araw. Kamakailan lamang ay natagpuan na wala ng buhay ang controversial na DPWH Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral sa ilalim ng Buwid River sa Tuba, Benguet. Hanggang ngayon ay patuloy pa rin na usap-usapan at nagiging palaisipan sa taong bayan ng totoong nangyari noong araw na iyon. Na ayon sa asawa nito na si Cesar Cabral ay nanindigan na walang foul play na nangyari na marami ang nagduda dahil tumutuloy itong palalimin pa ang investigasyon at ipasuri ang katawan ng yumaong asawa sa mga eksperto. Inamin nitong stress ang mental health ng asawa nito dahil sa pagkadawit sa korupsyon ng mga anomalya sa flood control projects ng DPWH kung kaya ay nagpaalam itong magliwaliw sa Baguio at Benguet subalit may masamang nangyari sa kanya. Patuloy pa rin na iniimbestigahan ang kasama nitong driver at bodyguard dahil sa mga inconsistencies at doubtful nitong ginawa noong araw na iyon.
Bakit hindi yung husband yung sumama sa kanya? Para magliwalo, di ba? Bakit yung driver lang? Busy ba yung husband niya? Tanong lang naman.
Sa gilid ng bangin at binalikan pagkatapos ng ilang oras pa. Samantala, sa kaugnay na balita, VP Sara Duterte ay naiyak at naninig dahil nabisto na ng totoong kaugnayan sa PDL na si Ramil Madriaga. Kahapon ay naglabas ng statement si Sara Duterte at sinabing hindi nito kilala si Ramil Madriaga at wala umano siyang kaugnayan kay Madriaga. Subalit, lumabas.
Hindi daw kilala si Madriaga tapos may pa, ninong pala. Ninong ng anak, aray ko.
Mga video at larawan ni Sara at Ramil Madriaga noong election campaign ni Sara Duterte noong 2022 elections. Base sa naturang video ay makikitang iniabot ni Sara Duterte ang bandila na dala-dala nito kay Madriaga at tinawag niya itong Sir Ramil. Nangyari umano ito sa Matnog, Sorsogon kung saan galing Mindanao at Visayas si Sara Duterte patungong Luzon na bunyag dinabahagi ng grupong ISIP o Inday Sara in the President Movement si Madriaga base sa mga naging post nito noong 2022 dahil nais nilang si Sara ang tatakbo sa pagkapangulo subalit pinili itong maging vice-presidente. At ngayong araw lamang ay kinumpirma ni Secretary of Local Government or SLG na si John Vic Rimulya ang balita na 2 beses di umano bumisita si Sara Duterte sa Camp Bagong Diwa sa Bikutan, Taguig ang BGMP kung saan nakakulong itong si Ramil Madriaga. Pinaiimbestigahan na din sa ngayon ang pakay at kung sino ang binisita ni VP Sara sa Camp Bagong Diwa.
May nakita akong post, si Teves daw yung binisita. Ewan ko kung totoo yun. Kalimutan ko kung saan ko nakita yun eh. Sa balita ba yun or ewan?
Ang salaysay si Ramil Madriaga sa DOJ at mga otoridad ay inamin na dati siyang security personnel at bagman ni Sara Duterte at sinabi niyang siya ang inatasan ng taga-kolekta ng mga pera mula sa mga operasyon ng Pogo. Subalit aniya sa kabila ng kanyang ginawa ay pinabayaan umano siya ni Sara Duterte sa kulungan dahil sa kasong isinampa ni Atty. Harry Roque na kanilang kaalyado din ng mga Duterte kung kaya umano siya bumaliktad.
Right. This happened during the weekend. Now, what really happened? Did Cabral, number one, did she commit suicide? Was it an accident? Or is there a possibility it was foul play? Ano nangyari?
Precisely why we conducted an extensive investigation is because the first part of the incident was bungled by the police. So we followed it up. Timeline goes, 10 o'clock, she arrived at the very scene where she jumped, and she sat on the ledge, and you saw the dash cams that showed it. The police passed by, they said you cannot park there, so she went back up to the Hotel Ion. They arrived at Hotel Ion at around 11, at around
AM.
Okay. They ate lunch, she stayed in the room, then she asked her driver to bring her down at 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, she stopped by the very same place where her picture was taken, where the selfie was taken, and she asked the driver to mauna ka na, and the driver, understanding that he would meet her back in the hotel, because that's how they do during inspections. So he put gas 2 kilometers away, turned around. When he turned around, she wasn't there at the ledge anymore. So he thought that the the former USEC, went back to the hotel. He arrived at the hotel at 4, searched for her until 5, and reported the matter to the police at 5.
Tsaka ang
They went
labo
to the
din,
site
di ba,
at
na parang
6:30.
magsi-search ka pa na pupuntahan mo pa sa hotel yung wala nga siyang sasakyan, di ba? Tapos yun nga, malabo talaga pa. Naiiwan mo yung tao dun eh. Ewan ko ba?
7, and then there were climbers who went down, and they saw the body of Yusek Cabral.
Okay, so number one, Yusek Cabral went to that exact spot twice that day.
Twice that day. The first time she sat down. The second time, apparently, she jumped down. We have the autopsy reports. Number 1, the car that they used has no signs of struggle. There was no blood. There was no disarrangement of any kind. Number 2, her autopsy showed that all injuries, cause of death is blunt force trauma caused by the fall. She has extensive damage on the right side of her face, at the rear of her head. Her ribs are crushed on the right side, and both ankles were broken and both hands were broken.
Okay, I'm curious. Why did the driver take a selfie with his amo? That's going around social media. It was a bit odd. Did you speak to the driver?
He did, but it seems that the conversation going to Baguio, she promised him to help him build a house.
Okay, nangako siya.
So he was very happy. He was happy. He was happy. Said, oh, may tingnan mo ko, diba? Sige, buy me a house.
Pinangakuan siya.
Pinangakuan siya.
Okay, so kaya siya nag-selfie. Please have some water. Okay, so you've established, number 1, it was not an accident. She committed...
Hindi naman to,
And that's warm water.
kakala.
She committed suicide.
Yes. All signs point to suicide.
Okay, what was her mental state? I mean, this is a woman who was in control. She was in control. Isipin mo the mental makeup to do that in the DPWH system. To a degree, she was calling politicians. O, di ba, magkano gusto mo ipasok sa NEP? And
Tsaka ano din
why-
pala, courtesy kay Karen Davila at kay John Vic Remulla.
What mental state would she be in to do that?
I think, I cannot speak for her, but in my supposition, I think it is the end of the line. I think the ICI investigation would have been next. I think the personalities involved in all of the transactions were pressuring her. I think she could live with the crime, with the commission of the crime, but she couldn't live with being caught.
Pero yun nga,
That's just my
takot siya na
interpretation.
mahuli. Di ba? Takot siya na makulong, mapanagot. Pero, bakit niya kukunin yung buhay niya sa paraang takot din siya? Di ba? Like sa heights. Takot siya sa mga matataas na lugar. Tapos in that way niya rin kukunin yung buhay niya, di ba? Like, parang double yung takot niya nun. Di ba? Kasi, yung pagkuha ng sariling buhay, sobrang hirap nun. Di ba? Like, pag-iisipan mo talaga ng maraming beses yan. Tsaka nakakatakot gawin yan. Tapos gagawin mo pa in a way na takot ka rin sa heights. Di ba? Parang lang yan eh. Kunyari, takot ka sa pating. Tapos ang way mo o kukunin yung buhay mo is doon ka tatalon sa maraming pating. Eh di mas lalong pinapahirapan mo yung sarili mo, di ba? Wala lang. Tanong lang naman.
Now, because all over social media, there are suspicions that it could have been a fake body.
Yun.
Right?
That's right.
Because, yeah, because you know
Maslog.
the story of Mary Ann Maslog, the businesswoman implicated in the 1998 textbook scam that's discussed. She faked her own death only to resurface last year alive
That's
and
right.
well.
That's right. Because the initial police investigation was bungled.
Yeah.
When he returned the phone. Chief of Police returned the phone to the husband. Well, that's well and good because they thought it was an ordinary suicide. But that was a Yusek Cabral. It was a highly suspicious death.
Isinauli daw sa husband yung cellphone kasi they thought na suicide lang. Like, what the heck? Diba? Sobrang bilis mag-decide Diba? Doon pa lang sa word na DPWH siya. Tapos yung DPWH may issue. Ano yun? Hindi ba yung nakita ng pulis yung babaeng yan sa TV? Di ba? Na iniimbestigahan yan. Tapos biglang isusuli yung cellphone. What if lang naman? What if yung cellphone na yun may nabura na doon? E di imbis may hint sana tayo, wala na. Di ba? Kaya sa susunod talaga, dapat mag-ingat sa mga ganitong bagay. Di ba? What if? What if lang naman? Hindi natin sinasabing ito talaga yung nangyari. Pero what if yung pagkahulog ni ni Cabral doon, nandun na sa cellphone niya yung master list. Diba? Nandun yung mga listahan ng mga kurakot. So, parang ito na, dadalhin ko to. Pero ba't niya naman dadalhin pagkahulog na? What if lang naman? 'Di ba? So nandoon na 'yon. So meaning kapag ma-retrieve ng pulis 'yon, makikita kung sino yung mga involved sa flood control na 'yan. Ikaso parang sinauli pa. Hindi pwede na tuloy yun ma-delete yung iba doon. 'Di ba? Alam niyo yung ganyan par. Kaya dapat talaga nag-iingat eh. Very bad.
So I immediately ordered for an autopsy.
Okay.
The family refused. But according to the rules of engaging in a crime scene, if the death is suspicious, the PNP has the power to mandate an autopsy.
Okay.
So that autopsy was meant to clarify the air because I was so sure, puro conspiracy theories na yan.
Yeah,
Diba?
yeah.
So what did we find? Again, blunt force trauma. No gunshot to the head. No ligature marks to the neck. No skin cells under her nails. So there was no sign of struggle.
Yeah.
Pero what if tinulak na?
Furthermore,
'Di ba? Makikita ba 'yun sa autopsy? Yung tinulak lang ba? Like for example, lang siya doon, nakaupo lang siya doon, nakatalikod, tapos tinulak na lang bigla. Makikita ba 'yun par? 'Di ba? Makikita ba 'yun sa autopsy? Babakat ba 'yun sa likod yung kamay? Kunyari tinulak. 'Di ba? Kaya di mo rin talaga maiwasan yung taong bayan na magduda din talaga sa part na 'yan. Kasi yun nga, nalusutan na nga tayo ng nag-fake death, 'di ba? Tapos ngayon para maulit-ulit pa. So, lalo pa nung marami kasing mas lalong nagpatibay, 'di ba? Like for example, yung husband biglang positibo agad na wala, kinuha niya talaga yung sarili niyang buhay, something like that. 'Di ba? Like hindi na ako magpapa-autopsy. Parang ganyan ba? So mas lalo tuloy nagduda yung mga kababayan natin. May mga nag-comment pa na parang wala daw emotion yung husband. 'Di ba? So, mas lalo nyo talagang hindi nyo mawawala sa mga kababayan natin na yan na magduda talaga sila. Kahit sabihin natin na too much drama, kakapanood ng drama, pero yun nga, sabi ko nga sa inyo paulit-ulit, yung mga nangyayari sa totoong buhay, minsan ginagaya nila yan sa mga nangyayari sa pelikula. Yung sa pelikula naman, minsan ginagaya yan sa totoong buhay. Di ba? So, hindi malabo yung mga napapanood natin na drama na mangyayari talaga sa totoong buhay. Diba?
we looked at we traced her whereabouts. She went to the hotel and never left, never talked to anyone, and went down again. So all signs point that her intent was very clear.
Could she have slipped?
I cannot say that, but it doesn't show either. It doesn't show that because she fell head first. So a slip, you would have damaged your legs. But both hands are broken, and her face hit first. So it could not have been a slip. I'm not a forensic pathologist,
Face
but
yung unang bumagsak, pero ewan ko, tayo ordinary lang naman kasi tayong tao, Pero kung iisipin mo regardless kung tatalon ka or madulas ka, syempre kung sobrang taas ng babagsakan mo, pwede ka talaga mag-ikot-ikot, di ba? So meaning, pwedeng kahit saang parte yung uuna sa sahig. Di ba? Like paa, mukha, siko, tiyan. Di ba? Pwedeng ganun yun. Yeah. Okay. Bahala kayo. Kayo, comment.
ito na una eh. Diba? So it looks like it was really a deliberate fall.
Oo. I'm curious, was she under any form of medication?
She had medication, maintenance meds in her hotel room, but nothing for mental health.
Okay. Now, speaking with the family, her husband, for example, did she indicate a form of depression? Was she speaking with them?
In fact, the driver said that they were very happy going up. Bibili kita bahay. But that is the usual case of suicide patients. They don't show
Tama.
any manifestations. But indeed, down inside, they're already resolved. The rule of thumb in suicide is that the lethality, the seriousness of intent is measured by the lethality of means.
Kaya nga,
And
sobrang importante talaga ngayong mga mahal natin sa buhay. Kukumastahin natin sila. Kakausapin natin sila. Kasi yun nga, hindi porket nakikita natin na masaya sila, is masaya talaga sila. May mga tao kasi yung mapagkimkim, kinikimkim na lang nila sa sarili nila. Siguro, hindi nila nakikitaan yung ibang tao na makakatulong din sa kanila. Kaya kinikimkim na lang nila. Yung iba naman, parang, yun nga, mag-ano na lang sila na ano bang maitutulong nito, di ba? May stress lang din tong mga to. So, parang ganyan lang din. Di ba? So, hindi talaga natin pwedeng pagbasihan na kesyo masaya, matatag, strong, di ba? Is parang hahayaan na lang natin. dapat pa rin talaga, mag-initiate pa rin talaga tayo na offeran sila ng pagmamahal, kalinga, time, di ba? Kausapin natin sila. Kasi needed talaga nila yan in times like this, di ba? Yun nga, pagkakikilala nila kay Cabral, sobrang sobrang solid na tao, sobrang strong, di ba? Strong woman. Pero pwede talaga, di ba? Ako naman, hindi ko naman winawala sa sarili ko na pwede talagang kinuha niya yung sarili niyang buhay eh. Pero syempre, since yun nga, hindi nga malinaw sa atin talaga, di ba? Kasi may mga nagkandamali nga sa way of pag-handle nila dyan, is magdududa talaga tayo na what if, di ba? May tumulak dyan or may foul play dyan para lang maiiwas yung mga mga masterminds talaga. Di ba? So hindi talaga pwedeng gawing basihan lang na kesyo ganyan, strong siya. Di ba? Dapat i-check pa rin natin yung mga mahal natin sa buhay para advice lang naman.
The lethality of the means.
Yes. So those yung mga naghiwa ganyan, call for attention lang eh.
Oo, based on your experience,
From
it's
based on
very
experience.
personal
Yes.
point of view.
Pero yung sa kanya, there is no way you could have survived that fall.
Yeah.
And it would have been instant.
Next, let's
ayun.
move on to Bato de la Rosa.
Yes.
Okay, is there
Pinaka-paborito
really a
natin
warrant?
pag-usapan yan, Bato de la Rosa par.
Ano yung totoo?
There's none.
Okay. So,
There's none. I'm saying there's none. None that I
oh
know
my
of.
God. So why all this? I mean,
But there might be. Magkaiba yun eh, di ba? Magkaiba yung there's
because he
none.
has not been showing up in the
I
Senate.
know.
For
I reached out
Buti
to
pa
his
si
friends. I
Bato,
said, there's no warrant.
nakapagpasko pa. So sana naman, di ba? Baka naman, huwag nyo nang pagbagong taunin yan. Di ba? Dapat imbis bagong taon, bagong selda, di ba? Bagong surrounding. I-ICC nyo na yan, nako. Kayo lang inaano ni Bato, baka nag-rides lang yan nung Pasko. Di ba?
And why do you have to be worried?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I reached out. There's
Yeah.
no warrant. And he's been gone for a month. I don't know why. But there might be.
No, serious na to.
Well, look,
And you haven't seen a warrant. The ombudsman hasn't seen a warrant. Wala.
I don't know about the ombudsman.
Okay.
I can only speak for myself. Okay, the Philippines does not have relations with the ICI.
Yeah.
ICC. The ICC. The only person who is vocally, who is vocally insistent that there is one, is Senator Sonny Trillanes.
Okay.
He's the one who says that ito na. And then maybe Attorney Conti, maybe I think
Yeah.
their warrants are about to come out.
No.
So
I want to ask you, because you are criticized heavily for this, you and the administration, how did Duterte's warrant look like? Did you actually see it?
I saw it. I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it. And it said there, it was a red notice issued by the ICI to effect the arrest of Rodrigo Duterte.
Okay, issued by the ICC.
ICC.
ICI is ours. ICC. So there was.
There was.
Kasi you were criticized for that.
That there was a warrant?
No, pro Duterte legislators were saying hindi naman naka-red notice.
There was a red
Yun
notice.
I mean,
received it person-
dahil nandun na yun sa ICC, meaning meron talaga. Di ba? Wala nang dapat pag-usapan nun. Pabayaan na lang natin yung yung mga DDS kung hindi talaga nila matanggap yan So, yeah.
Kuhan ka,
And we have been
Busin ko lang tong
absolved.
salad.
There was a red notice. I'm 100% sure of it. It arrived at the electronic copy arrived at my cell phone at 3:30 in the morning. I informed the president at 6:30 in the morning, and the decision to arrest him was somewhere there.
Okay, because if there was an arrest warrant against Bato, it would be the same. Could that be?
No.
No.
Because the Supreme Court came out with their new rules for effecting a warrant of arrest.
So with the new rules, how would it change for Bato?
I think he will be given a chance to be heard in the local courts first,
Okay.
whether or not the warrant is valid.
Okay.
But I will have to check again the new rulings of the Supreme Court about effecting arrest.
But one thing for sure, wala pang warrant of arrest laban kay Bato de la Rosa.
Wala
It
pa
is for
akong
the-
nakikita. Nothing has been transmitted to the DFA. Nothing has been transmitted to the DOJ. Nothing has been transmitted to the PNP. As
Okay.
far as that I can confirm.
Magdadaw ang
Alright.
isip
Now,
si Bato niyan. Di ba, kakagatin ko ba yung sinabi ni Remulla 1? Kasi sabi kasi ni Remulla 2, nandyan na daw yung warrant eh. Di ba? So parang binibait na lang nila si Bato.
Other thing before we go, so just to update the viewers, number one, no arrest warrant against Bato.
None yet.
None yet. As of today, our topic is
As
only
of
today.
today, yes.
Secretary Remulla, you are waiting for either of the 4 RTCs to issue an arrest warrant against Atong Ang.
Yes.
Okay, hopefully you are wishing today or this week.
Hopefully today.
Okay,
Yes.
and you are going to ask the court for a search warrant with Kathy Cabral's documents,
Yes.
devices, etc.
Yes.
Okay, so there are 2 major things happening today for you. Now, my last question before we go, because we're on overtime almost.
Already?
is,
Okay.
is there a possibility that you will run for president
Oh my God, where did that
in
come from?
2028?
That was a curveball.
Because you are a name that is being mentioned as a possible candidate of this administration. I mean, I'll be honest, there's Cavite, so that's a bailiwick. You're a cabinet secretary, you're quite visible. They have no candidate as of now. So is that a possibility on your end?
This is the third time I've been asked in 1 week, and I always give the same answer. In 1998, then Governor Bongbong Marcos was asked, "Do you want to become president?" And he said, "Of course. All governors want to become president
Because you know how to govern.
And those who deny are lying."
Sinabi niya yun?
Sinabi niya yun. Yeah, I think Channel 7 was one of the
Okay,
interview him.
okay.
But I'm not governor, so that doesn't apply to me. So
But you were governor.
I was governor.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Same applies to you. Hello. You were governor for 3 terms.
Four.
For
Yes,
in
4
Cavite.
terms.
Oh,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
seriously. You were never congressman.
Never.
Oo, that the legislating is not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of
Oo,
tea.
mayor ka
Buti na
talaga
lang.
in governor.
No, I was never governor. I was board member, vice governor, governor.
Okay, all right. And mayor.
I was never mayor.
Never ka nag-mayor.
No, never
So it's
mayor.
really
Ang advice ko lang kay
yan.
ano,
Okay, so
kay Rimulya, kung if ever merong manok, 'di ba, yung kabila na pwedeng pang harap kay Sara Duterte. 'Di ba? Is wag na lang siyang tumakbo para hindi din mahati yung boto Kasi the more na maraming tatakbo kasi against kay Sara Duterte, the more na mananalo si Sara Duterte. 'Di ba? Kasi magkakaroon ng vote splitter 'Di ba? Dito sa kabilang side. Dapat ang i-wish nyo na lang maraming tumakbo doon sa side ng mga Duterte. Pero we know naman na malabo talaga mangyari yan. Like for example, magsabay na tumakbo si Bongo at saka si Sara Duterte. Malabo naman yan. Pero sana, 'di ba, na meron tayong makitang solid DDS natatakbo pang vote splitter ni Sara Duterte. 'Di ba? Kasi kung ganyan, mas lalo nating hahatiin yung mga sa kalaban ni Sara Duterte. Wala talaga. Mananalo talaga si Sara Duterte this 2028. 'Di ba? So, yeah, dapat isip tayo ng mabuti
are you open to running?
It's a possibility.
Okay, what
No
factors?
conclusion yet, but it's a possibility.
Okay, but what are the factors that you would want to see before considering it?
Well, number one, of course, is my wife, if she totally
Okay,
agrees so
that's
far. Number two, the country, for me, the country has to be solidly behind. It has to be a dichotomy of candidates. It has to be a one-on-one fight.
It should not be a one-on-one?
It should be.
It should be.
It should be.
So like you against Sara Duterte?
No, whoever it is, not me. It can be Vince. It can be Vince. It can be anyone. It can be Cheese. But it has to be a one-on-one.
How could it be cheese?
But whoever are the usual suspects. who
No,
want
of
to
the
run.
cabinet kasi ito, how could it be cheese at this point with the accusations? I mean,
But
seriously.
but whoever-
So either you and Vince.
Whoever, it should be a one-on-one fight.
Oh, you believe that?
I think it should be a dichotomy between the Philippines will have to choose between one version of how to govern and one version of the truth. The Philippines has to choose a common future that they think is believable, and they have to show a contrast between the two candidates, and I think that's important.
For
Last
example,
question before.
si Raffy Tulfo. Ewan ko lang kung pero yung mga DDS kasi mga din talaga yung mga utak niyan 'di ba? Like kahit harap-harapan nilang makita yung problema sa mga Duterte, iboboto pa rin talaga nila Ganyan sila ka solid So ang sa atin na lang talaga dito, hindi na madagdagan yung bilang ng mga Duterte So kung si Tulfo ba, do you think sino ba yung makukuhang boto ni Tulfo? Do you think marami siyang makukuhang DDS votes? Or hindi? Parang hindi Para makukuha niya lang is yung mga sa kabila, like yung pink siguro or sa iba pa. Or siguro si Tulfo yung hahatak dun sa gitna ng mga boto. 'Di ba? Kasi ganyan lang yan Parang nagiging analyzer. So, kunyari, tatakpo si Lenny or si Riza Hontiveros. Sana wag silang magsabay Pero I think hindi naman siguro sila magsasabay So, kunyari, isa sa kanila yung tatakbo tapos si Sara Duterte. So, kayang sumabay ni Lenny kung silang dalawa lang siguro. Si Sara at saka si Lenny. Pero kung merong sisingit sa gitna dyan, 'di ba? Pwedeng mabawasan yung boto ni Lenny or ni Riza Hontiveros kung sino mang tatakbo. 'Di ba? So sana walang vote splitter Pero I think meron talaga 'Di ba? Ayan si Tulfo, kapag kayan tumakbo talaga, iwan ko na lang.
we go, because we're on overtime almost.
Already?
Is,
Okay.
is there a possibility that you will run for president
Oh my God, where did that
in
come from?
2028?
That was a curveball.
Because you are a name that is being mentioned as a possible candidate of this administration. I mean, I'll be honest, you know, there's Cavite, so that's a bailiwick. You're a cabinet secretary, you're quite visible. They have no candidate as of now. So is that a possibility on your end?
This is the third time I've been asked in 1 week, and I always give the same answer. In 1998, then Governor Bongbong Marcos was asked, "Do you want to become president?" And he said, "Of course."
Parang
All
naulit na
governors
tayo,
want to
ah.
become president.
Lang po, reality check lang po ngayon sa mga hospital. Pag pumunta ka sa mga hospitals ngayon, ang laki ng hospital billing mo, hindi pa, ang layo pa po ng zero balance. Halimbawa na lang po, 300,000 yung hospital billing niya.
Nandyan pa ba si
Sasagutin ng
Bongo
PhilHealth sa
para?
ngayon,
I think hanggang dito na lang muna tayo, no? Ewan ko kung nandyan pa rin ba si Bongo. Present pa rin ba siya dyan sa Senate? So, ayan. Again, ang video nyo is Malaki Viral Broadcast PH. Susuportahan nyo yan. Original video link in the description box below. Panoorin nyo rin. I-subscribe nyo rin. Tapos, syempre, bago nyo iwan yung YouTube channel natin, FilipiNoisy, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. So, kita nyo naman yun para. Di ba? So, courtesy din kay, kay Karen Dapilano. So, parang pinag-uusapan nila dito. Hindi, doon muna tayo kay Catalina Cabral. So, yun nga, same pa rin na naririnig natin dito na yung angle talaga is parang precise sila or sure sila. Di ba? Na kinuha niya nga yung sarili niyang buhay. Pero yun nga, sa part talaga natin, ewan ko na lang ano masasabi nyo. Though may may nirelease naman na picture yung PNP nung pagkahulog kay Cabral, pero yun nga, naka-blur yung mukha, no? So, for graphic content purposes siguro yun. So, bawal namang ipakita talaga yung mukha. Pero, yun nga, paano natin mag-verify yun? Pero na lang kung meron silang public viewing dun sa burol, di ba? So, yeah, ganun pa rin. Same pa rin. Na certain pa rin yung natin, otoridad na yun nga, walang foul play. Pero syempre, yung mga kababayan natin, di ko rin masisi sila. Kung up until now talaga, is pinaniniwalaan nila na merong foul play. Di ba? Kasi yun nga, nadala na tayo doon sa kwento about doon kay Maslog, di ba, na naging matagumpay siya. What more na lang ito si Cabral. Isipin nyo si Cabral para kung tutuusin. I mean, kung talagang guilty lang siya, di ba? Kung talagang totoo yung mga pinaparatang sa kanya, isipin nyo kung gaano ka ma-impluwensya yung tao na yan. Isipin nyo kung gaano nakayaman yung tao na yan. Di ba? I mean, yung tago na yaman ha, if ever totoo yung mga pinupukula sa kanya. Of course, mamumursyento yan. Diba? Kasi kumbaga, ikaw yung gatekeeper eh. Diba? Ikaw yung, ikaw yung San Pedro sa kahudasang mga nangyayari dyan sa, flood control, diba? So, parang mayaman yan kung tutusin, mapera. Diba? So, abot naman dito kay, kay Sec. John Vic Remulla. Speaking of, yun nga, tatakbo. Suggest ko lang talaga, diba? Is na lang, wag na lang siguro muna, di ba? Wag na lang ipilit siguro kung may mag-uudyok sa kanya, kasi no match talaga par. Kahit ako, let's be honest, no match talaga si John Vic Remulla kay Sara Duterte. Tsaka yun nga, kung talaga, kung tatakbo kasi si kung tatakbo kasi si John Vic Remulla, hindi niya naman mahahatak yung yung mga Duterte supporters eh. 'Di ba? Ang mahahatak niya lang is yung sa kabila. 'Di ba? So parang mahahati lang. So kung gusto nating maiba naman yung mamumuno, 'di ba? Hindi naman Duterte. Kasi kung mananalo si Sara Duterte, wala na, expected na natin na kung ano yung naranasan natin yung 2016 to 'di ba? Hanggang matapos yung term ni FBRD is mauulit 'yon. And then for sure, magiging magulo pa rin ulit yung bansa natin. Isipin nyo, if ever 2028 na, tapos buhay si FPRD. I mean, buhay pa si FPRD that time. Baka bigla na lang mag-declare ng yung Pilipinas sa ICC para lang mabawi si FPRD. Diba? Malaking gulo na naman yan. Diba? Tapos yung sa China, mauulit na naman yan. Bigla na naman tayong ma-under sa ng China. Baka may agreement na naman sila dyan. Di ba? So, dapat mag-isip tayo ng mabuti. Like, siguro hayaan na lang muna natin na pamunuan tayo ng ng pink. Tingnan din natin kung paano nila i-handle yung bansa. Tapos kung hindi tayo kung hindi tayo satisfied, edi palit na naman ulit tayo this coming next election. Basta wag lang yung Sara Duterte, kasi alam na natin kung ano yung way of pamumuno nila eh. 'Di ba? Like kita nyo naman yung mga supporters nila, para wala talaga. Sobrang talaga. Like bulag-bulagan to the max. Bulag-bulagan to the fullest talaga. 'Di ba? Sana baguhin na natin yan this coming election. Nakakatawa mang isipin, 3 years pa, pero 2 years na lang. 'Di ba? Malapit na. Parang 2 years mahigit na lang. Election na ulit. Sobrang bilis. Sobrang bilis ng panahon, para. Ito yung pinakahihintay ng mga politiko eh. Agawan ng agawan ng trono, agawan ng posisyon. Pero hindi sa paglilingkod sa taong bayan, kundi sa pagkamkam ng pera ng taong bayan, di ba? Nakakainis lang. And then yun nga, if ever maiupo natin si Sara Duterte, lahat ng ibinabato, di ba? Kasi ako sobrang pa talaga, sobrang malabo yung yang kay Estrada, yang kay Villanueva, yang kay Escudero. Aabot pa yan ng siguro 2028. So meaning kapag manalo sila Sara Duterte, wala na. Lulusot na naman yung mga senador na yan. 'Di ba? So sana mag-isip tayo ng mabuti And then that's it na lang muna. So kayo na masasabi niyo dito, comment down below, tapos yun pag-usapan natin yan sa comment section. So again, viral broadcast page, supportahan nyo yan. Tapos syempre, FilipiNoisy, Karen Davila, John B. Crimaglia, and then courtesy sa kanila, Senate of the Philippines. Like, comment, share, subscribe. FilipiNoisy is out.